If you're handling an aviation case and the NTSB docket references flight data recorder evidence, then this video is for you. I'm Kevin Alvarez. I'm a chief pilot and an aviation expert witness. And I want to just take a few minutes and explain what an FDR actually records, why attorneys need to understand it, and where the real evidentiary value lives. Because most of what gets summarized in the NTSB report doesn't really tell the full story. Every commercial aircraft, and most business jets for that matter, are required to have a flight data recorder. The FDR captures dozens of aircraft parameters simultaneously, from the start of the takeoff roll all the way until the landing roll is complete. What kind of parameters are they recording? Things like airspeed, altitude, vertical speed, heading, pitch and roll, engine thrust, and control surface positions, just to name a few. And in modern aircraft, you're looking at well over 80 parameters being recorded at once. And in my aircraft, the Embraer 500, it's recording well over 100. Here's why that matters in litigation. The FDR doesn't show the crew's intention. It just shows what the aircraft actually did. And that distinction matters. As an example, let's say the crew testified that they applied full rudder at a certain point in the takeoff roll. The FDR is going to actually show you what the rudder deflection angle was and when it was applied. What the crew remembers and what the recorder records are not always going to be the same. In accident cases, the FDR record is how investigators reconstruct those events. As an expert witness, I take all the raw FDR data and I apply it to the aircraft's performance model, which is validated against the manufacturer's aircraft flight manual. I reconstruct the flight path, the energy state, the control sequence, and that reconstruction is mine. It's not the NTSB's, built from documented methodologies with known tolerances, meaning that it's testable, it can be replicated, it maps directly to Daubert reliability factors. It's expert analysis that survives challenges that simply using the NTSB report does not. Now, what is in the NTSB docket and what isn't? First, let's talk about what's inside the docket. The FDR specialist's factual report. That contains process parameter data. It usually includes an aircraft performance study. It includes the flight path reconstruction. And the docket is available to the public at ntsb.gov, and it is admissible. Now, what's not in there? The raw data itself. And depending on the case or accident, your expert may want to work from the raw data rather than the processed report. This requires a specific request, and in some jurisdictions, a court order. Just know that going in. If you or your expert wants the CVR or the cockpit voice recorder, transcripts are in the docket and it is admissible. The audio recording itself is protected under 49 USC section 1154 and is not released publicly. If you need that audio, plan for a fight early. Courts have ordered its production, but it's not always automatic. The one thing I want attorneys to understand about FDR evidence is what it cannot tell you on its own. Like I said earlier, the data shows what happened. It doesn't explain why. As an example, let's say there's two accidents. In one accident, you had a crew responding correctly to an emergency. And in the other accident, you have a crew that looked confused, fatigued, or untrained. But looking at the raw data, it can all look the same in both cases. That's where operational expertise comes in. Being able to understand what the crew was facing, what the weather environment was, what was their workload, what were the organizational pressures that shaped their decision making. This is what gives FDR data its meaning in litigation. The recorder tells you what happened. I help the jury understand why. So to summarize, the FDR is one of the most precise and reliable pieces of evidence in an aviation accident case. The NTSB docket makes all the process data and the specialist reports available. But that's just going to be your starting point. For a deeper analysis, you're going to want to request the raw data. Your expert works from that data and develops independent opinions with documented methodology and known tolerances. And in the end, that's the kind of analysis that holds up on cross. If you have an aviation matter where the FDR evidence is in play, I'm happy to discuss the data and show you what it means for your case. I provided a link to reach me down in the comments. I'm Kevin Alvarez with Arrow Verdict.